Have you ever worried about being buried alive? That would scare the shit out of me. In the Peruvian city of Tingo Maria, and in the middle of an open casket funeral, mourners became convinced they could see the 28-year-old's ribcage rising and falling.
Oh, Jesus! Celebrate Jesus! Celebrate Jesus! Hello, Elliot. Elliot. Elliot.
Jesus.
Lift your hands.
Oh my God.
Lift your hands. Ira kalamasa.
My good God.
Barabasa kabasa. Sit.
Man of this commanding life.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle, everybody. It's a miracle.
Jesus! What is this? Never seen before. Never seen before.
The undead man was transferred from his coffin to the hospital. This resurrection story does not have the happy ending that the mourners had hoped for. At the hospital, the young man was, for the second time, pronounced deceased. Upon finding oneself buried alive, as an 1868 patent had put it, one had merely to summon the help by pulling a cord attached to a bell on the surface. The burial case safety coffin even came with add-ons like a ladder, so that should the person come back to life, they would be able to climb out of the grave. Those living in modern, medically advanced 21st century scoff at such excess. For the strange case of Mr. Walter Williams.
Resting in comfort, 78-year-old Walter Williams was in hospice care, prepared for the end of a long life in Lexington, Mississippi. He seemed to slip peacefully away Wednesday night.
They put him in a plastic bag, zipped him up, and took him and put him in the hearse.
No pulse, no breathing. Williams was examined, declared dead by the coroner, and transported to the funeral home. His family had already been grieving for hours when something happened.
I asked the coroner what happened. He said, "Oh, they can call us a miracle."
Williams began kicking inside his body back. He wasn't dead.
So it was not my daddy's time. I don't know how much longer he gonna grace us and bless us with his presence, but hallelujah, we thank him right now.
Williams' revival couldn't have happened at a better time. He was already in the embalming room.
He was not dead, long story short.
So he missed it by how much?
I don't know.
Couple of minutes, maybe?
No, more than that, maybe. But we definitely was not going to do anything to him.
Once you saw that he was
Right. That he was not deceased.
The coroner speculates that a defibrillator implanted beneath the skin on Williams' chest may have somehow jump-started his heart after he was placed in the body bag.
Now, death is defined as involving the irreversible cessation of brainstem function, but there remains debates within the medical community as to what exactly death is and what tests should be done to confirm it. Adding to the difficulty are conditions like narcolepsy, causing extreme drowsiness, which can, of course, combine with catalepsy, a nervous disorder that slows breathing, reduces sensitivity to pain, and stiffens the muscles, as if rigor mortis has set in, to the point that some people seem pretty dead. Then there is severe hypothermia, where the body temperature drops below about 28 degrees. That can bring on something akin to a state of hibernation and make it appear as though someone is brain dead. My friends, you just can't make this shit up. After a night of vodka drinking, the man woke up wondering where he was, a common experience after a night of alcohol. But the man suddenly realized he was inside a mortuary refrigerator. Unbeknownst to him, he had suffered a major heart attack after leaving the pub in the Polish town that he called home. He was declared dead before a hospital security guard heard sounds coming from one of the mortuary cool boxes. With shaking hands, the guard was terrified, and he was quoted as saying that, quote, "I opened one of the doors and I found a naked body asking me for a blanket. After recovering, the man went back to the pub and started drinking again." Another set of mortuary workers took to their heels screaming in January 2014 when a man named Paul woke up in the morgue in Kenya. The 24-year-old had tried to take his own life by swallowing insecticide. God, what a terrible death that would have been. Can you imagine?
Next tonight, a rather harrowing experience. A Naivasha man threw mortuary attendants into a panic, forcing them to flee the morgue when he suddenly woke up, although he had been presumed dead. It was 20 hours of mourning and a similar time for a man to live among the dead. Here's the full story. Mutora has had an interesting 20 hours. Until this morning, his family were mourning his death. This young man was pronounced dead last night at the Naivasha District Hospital after an apparent suicide. It all started on Tuesday afternoon when Paul and his father had an argument. The 24-year-old was then rushed to the Naivasha District Hospital in critical condition. Doctors at the hospital quickly put him on drugs that are given to patients who have taken poisonous substances.
The victim apologized to his father and presumably the mortuary attendants who were going crazy. At least no one had started the autopsy. Perhaps then we should understand why the great George Washington, our founding father, insisted on such risk-averse preparations for his very own funeral. Way back in December 1799, as he lay dying, George Washington had requested, "Have me decently buried. Do not let my body be put into the vault in less than 3 days after I am pronounced dead." Maybe he had a vision. So the great man was duly kept unburied in a mahogany casket for the required 3 days. But for him, this precaution against being buried alive proved unnecessary. Maybe those safety coffins weren't such a bad idea after all. Well, this has been one hell of an eye-opening show. I am Father Ray, and this has been Crazy News. Thanks for watching. You guys leave your comments down below. Like, so that we can get more people looking at this screen, and subscribe so you can get notified when I drop more content just like this.